Hello. I have a reading for you. And although when you see this video and you will see the opening graphic on YouTube, you will know what book it is and who the author is. But I want you to forget that. Even though you would know, I want you to forget it. I'm going to start reading, and I want you to assume you don't know who is the author and what book this is. So I'm going to just start reading, and let's see what kind of an impression these words make on you, and if this is the sort of book you would want to read. I will be putting in screenshots so you can look at the text that I'm reading. If you want to follow along, you can. If you want to just close your eyes, you can do that as well. Whatever you prefer. So, without further ado, I'll start reading. Book 3, written in Carnuntum. We must take into our reckoning not only that life is expended day by day, and the remaining balance diminishes, but also this further consideration. If we live longer, there is no guarantee that our mind will likewise retain that power to comprehend and study the world, which contributes to our experience of things divine and human. If dementia sets in, there will be no failure of such faculties as breathing, feeding, imagination, desire. Before these go, the earlier extinction is of one's proper use of oneself, one's accurate assessment of the gradations of duty, one's ability to analyze impressions, one's understanding of whether the time has come to leave this life. These and all other matters which wholly depend on trained calculation. So we must have a sense of urgency not only for the ever closer approach of death, but also because our comprehension of the world and our ability to pay proper attention will fade before we do. We should also attend to things like these, observing that even the incidental effects of the processes of nature have their own charm and attraction. Take the baking of bread. The loaf splits open here and there, and those very cracks, in one way a failure of the baker's profession, somehow catch the eye and give particular stimulus to our appetite. Figs likewise burst open at full maturity, and in olives ripened on the tree, the very proximity of decay lends a special beauty to the fruit. Similarly, the ears of corn nodding down to the ground, the lion's puckered brow, the foam gushing from the boar's mouth, and much else besides. Looked at in isolation, these things are far from lovely. But their consequences on the processes of nature enhances them, and gives them attraction. So any man with a feeling and deeper insight for the workings of the whole will find some pleasure in almost every aspect of their disposition, including the incidental consequences. Such a man will take no less delight in the living snarl of wild animals than in all the imitative representations of painters and sculptors. He will see a kind of bloom and fresh beauty in an old woman or an old man, and he will be able to look with sober eyes on the seductive charm of his own slave boys. Not all can share this conviction, only one who has developed a genuine affinity for nature and her works. For him, there will be many such perceptions. I'll continue reading, although the subject has changed, and it will show in the screenshot. Hippocrates cured many diseases, then died of disease himself. The Chaldean astrologers foretold the deaths of many people, then their own fated day claimed them. Alexander, Pompey, Julius Caesar annihilated whole cities time after time and slaughtered tens of thousands of horse and foot in the field of battle, and yet the moment came for them too to depart this life. Heraclitus speculated long on the conflagration of the universe, but the water of dropsy filled his guts and he died caked in a poultice of cow dung. Vermin were the death of Democritus, and vermin of another sort killed Socrates. What of it then? You embarked, you set sail, you made port. Go ashore now. If it is to another life, nothing is empty of the gods, even on that shore. And if to insensibility, you will cease to suffer pains and pleasures, no longer enthralled to a bodily vessel which is a master as far inferior as its servant is superior. One is mind and divinity, the other a clay of dust and blood. I do want to continue reading, but I will stop here. And I'd just like to mention that I have the same book, but in that book, the writer has used some archaic English in just some places, and some of the words are such that they are now no longer in contemporary usage. This one, of course, is the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, Penguin Classics, and here I find that the language flows very naturally. It's in English that is contemporarily understood and spoken, and the thoughts come out very clearly. Millions, I believe, have benefited from this book. It's self-evident the kind of ideas that are expressed here, the thoughts. Isn't this a book that you would want to read? That's all the time we are going to spend together. Thank you very much for your company. And I'll be closing this recording, and I'll be putting it up in the form of a video, so you can enjoy it whenever you want to. Thank you very much. I'll see you another time. Goodbye.